our mother, who did not talk a lot about her experience, hardly at all actually, but she did always say that the Japanese people were very kind to her. So I think I had the expectation that the people would be very special, and we have not been disappointed at all. The people are extraordinary. So that has been really, there are so many highlights to the trip, but the people have been the real highlight of the trip. Well, of course, Suruga is where our mother entered Japan and had her first feeling of safety after her very difficult journey from Poland through Russia and Siberia and over the sea to Suruga. So we were very emotional there. And on top of that, the city of Suruga and everybody who welcomed us were just overwhelmingly wonderful to us. We really felt, and they were so considerate in terms of trying to give us a sense of, you know, what our mother and what the refugees experienced to the extent that they could, you know, so many years later. Part of it, I mean, there are many lessons, I think, but part of it is, a big one, is to see the actions of someone like Chiune Sugihara and Mr. Osako as shining examples of how to behave when presented with people who are suffering. If there is anything one can do, to not stand by and not act, but to do what one can to help. As my sister has said, it can take an extraordinary person to act in the face of personal danger, which Mr. Sugihara did, at personal expense anyway. You know, he, I think, knew that his actions were against his government's orders, and that would put him in jeopardy and his family too. But again, I see the lesson that they give as an example to the world, both individuals and countries, of how to behave. We are so indebted to Mr. Kitade, as I said in my remarks, and can't say it enough. Without his passion, curiosity, and dedication to, and persistence to identifying the people in those photographs and finding out about how the people of Suruga and Japan welcomed the refugees. I mean, he went around the world talking to Sugihara survivor communities and their descendants, trying to identify those photographs for years, and without any luck, no luck. And yet then he wrote a book, and then he continued. You know, the information was posted, and he persisted, and finally it got to us. The picture of my mother got to us on the internet, and you know, the first photograph was identified, and then others followed. So he is amazing, and without him, none of this would have happened. I mean, there are so many people who, without, it would not have happened. Mr. Osako, who of course was so kind on the journey, and then kept the scrapbook with the photographs for Mr. Kitade to see. Obviously, it was a very meaningful experience to Mr. Osako to keep that scrapbook, and his daughter kept it, and you know, so there have been many steps along the way without which none of this would have happened. But Mr. Kitade was absolutely essential to bringing this story to light. Not only our mothers, you know, all the other photographs in the book, and how the people of Suruga were. Yes, I mean, that was known before, but this makes it personal, I think. You know, Japan is not a very diverse country. So you know, and the United States is a very diverse country, and that's a big difference between the two countries. And, you know, that can make for different input into policy decisions and things like that. But the overriding message is to be welcoming. To be welcoming to, it should be welcoming to immigrants, to refugees, and ultimately have it be one world for everybody, one peaceful world for everybody.